members for Murray State: Joel Green, a first-team midfielder; Dom Woolley, a first-team midfielder as well; Lucas Peruzzo, a first-team forward; and on the second team, Vulovic, Mayrink, and Adeyemi, all second-team players for Murray State. And for NEO, the only all-region player for them, the second-team goalkeeper, Davide Marzoli, gets the recognition there as the second-best goalkeeper in the region. Spoiler alert, Caio Silva won the all-region first team for Eastern at goalkeeper. Only 2 goalkeepers get all-region compared to, you know, those midfielders and defenders where 6 different players get either first or second team combined. So between the goalkeepers, it's a tough fight between those guys. I mean, obviously a lot more midfielders and defenders between all the teams, but Marzoli, Silva, I think 2 of the best. But you can't look past what Noble has done this year as well for Murray State.
Yeah, Noble's been incredible. He's 5th in the nation this year in shutouts with 6th. He's 11th in the nation with 8 wins. He's had a really good year. 76% save percentage, a 1.3 goal to allow per game, which is a really good number. A lot of that has been because of the defense. The defense has helped him out, but when Noble has been relied on in some of the big moments, he's came in clutch.
Murray State will be in their blue on blues, blue tops, blue shorts, black sleeves, white letters, white numbers. And on the other side for NEO, they'll be in their all white on whites, blue letters, blue numbers for them as well. And we're set ready for the opening kickoff after the clock reaches 45 minutes here in just a second. That's all the referees waiting on here at the moment.
And this should be a good matchup between these 2 teams. For NEO, they've struggled against this Murray team, and this is one of the few teams in the region that have really not played them super close. But if they can get to how they've played this season and keep this game close and competitive, they'll have a real shot.
And that's right, we're counting up on the scoreboard here. The referees are used to counting down. But either way, an offsides on the opening possession, as getting offsides was going to be Adeyemi. So quick possession for NEO off the offsides. It'll be it'll be Radenovic to take this free kick. And with the win, he knows he can place it all the way up forward, but too far it went, as the Golden Norsemen are going to have to get used to this wind that has been blowing all day long from right to left.
Yeah, there's only been 5 goals scored today. All of them have been scored with the wind at the team's back. So right now, NEO is going to have to try to take advantage of the wind being at their back for this first 45 minutes.
On the far side, Murray State trying to find some possession, and they do. At midfield, a little push from behind and a foul called as Kaminar, who's making a new appearance for NEO this season, just his 5th game played and his 3rd start this season. A freshman that's only taken 1 shot this year. Intercepted for a moment, but just cleared all the way back as Noble is going to be way out of his box to play this one. Have to make sure you don't turn it over if you're Jaron Noble. Noble able to get it up into the air. It floats backwards. And another whistle and too much contact. Works out for NEO as they'll be in a good opportunity for this free kick.
Yeah, too much on Saito. Just got over the top of the NEO offensive player, and an opportunity here for NEO, especially with the wind at their back. They can really get some tail on that ball.
A little communication over on the ball for NEO. Peluso coming over to give a word of advice to the free kick taker in Hockley, who's trying to get the ball set, but the wind keeps moving it. Hockley with the free kick. The lefty. That sails way over the net. And out of bounds it goes. And he's standing there looking at it like a drive from the tee box. Trying to make the adjustments for the next time he takes a free kick.
And I think the first couple times you take a free kick, especially in the wind like this, it's going to be an adjustment.
Down the left side once again. Murray State trying to work around and find some possession. Battle once again, and NEO comes away with it for the moment. Patiently worked back to the right side. Still no open room, and out of bounds last touched by Peluso. It's Peruzzo leads the charge for Murray State this year. 11 goals, 9 assists, 31 points, 34 shots, all of them a team lead. 18th in the nation with his goals, 4th most assists in the nation at 9. and the 9th most points as well within NJCAA. Still in midfield battle right now as this one's been up in the air for a while and still continues to be up in the air with some headers. That one was head away by Carl Murch. Now to this near side, Murray State able to work in some offense. Mayrink sends it forward. That's batted down at the moment. Back to the back line for NEO. One touch passing. Try to get it through. Good stop at the moment by the defense as Joel Green comes into possession. Now back to Mayrink on the near side. Mayrink, a ball up forward. The wind dies it down and it cleared away by the Golden Horsemen. For NEO, they're led in charge by Rodriguez, but this one's over toward the box. The shot just missing to the right. Marzoli had come out to pressure it, and over on that far side, Saito had a chance. Just missed it wide right.
And that was a great opportunity there. Set up front by Carl Murch, and nearly a goal scored to start things off. Now, Marzoli was there, but it did go wide.
For Japhet Rodriguez, not getting the start today for Coach Young. 3 goals, no assists for him this season on 13 shots. NEO has possession on the throw-in.
He started 11 games last year, only started 3 games this year. Still made a big impact. Missed a good chunk of games in the month of September, though.
Mayrink gets it forward, but Radenovic is back to play it. Radenovic gets it up to Mate. To the back line now, they work to the right side for the Golden Horsemen. That one clears everybody, and it's going to continue to roll. It's just a matter of where it goes out of bounds at. It'll be a throw-in for Murray State, deep in their own defensive end.
And the pressure is on here for NEO. They want to try to get that exclamation point goal and start things off on a hot note.
And Connor State had jumped out to a 2-0 lead in their first matchup against Rose State, but 3 unanswered by the Raiders of Rose State, including a 100th minute goal in overtime, brought that game to its closure. 6 minutes into this first half. The only chance so far came from Murray State as it just crept to the right side of the post. But NEO's on the attack now. At the top of the box, the shot just off the crossbar. It's going to go out of bounds. What an attempt, though, at the top of the box. I think it was Hockley possibly that got himself into that shot.
Yeah, a really good opportunity for both of these two teams early on. One of them just went wide right. The other one just off the top of the post, like you said.
Is it Hockley or is it Mate? Both of them had separated from the original spot of where the shot was taking place. And as I brought my eyes back to where the shot was taken from, they were both separated from where it was. Either way, a couple of shots close, one off the crossbar. NEO came a couple of inches short, but Jaron Noble, I should say, looked to be in position to possibly play it if it did get to that crossbar. Murray State on the far side on offense. Backheel pass by Green down the sideline. It's last touch by NEO, so a throw-in for the Aggies. Looking to take the throw is going to be Seeley. High up in the air and cleared away once again.
And Murray State hasn't had a whole lot of success in the Region 2 tournament as of late. Last year they lost in the first round to Eastern 4-1, and the year before they lost in the first round to Rich Mountain after going to PKs.
Yeah, they went 9-2-2 in the 2021 fall season, losing to, like you said, Rich Mountain and penalties. But for NEO, 6-10 last year, they missed out on the Region 2 tournament. This one up forward. There's a run and a movement. Marzoli comes out to play, worked around the left side. There's contact made and a penalty kick coming up. Marzoli knew it the entire time. And Adeyemi got himself into the box, made a good move. And we'll see who takes this penalty kick for the Aggies.
And we'll see if a card comes out, and it looks like a yellow card will come out for Marzoli. Obviously, you'll take a yellow card instead of a goal, but certainly don't want to get too many of those for Marzoli. If he picks up another one, he's done for the day. That's his second yellow card of the season.
A big chance here. I think it's going to be the captain and Joel Green to take it. He's at least going over to pick it up. And it will be Joel Green to take the penalty kick.
He's got 6 goals, 6 assists on the year.
No penalty kicks taken today, or this year. To the left, underneath the arm of Marzoli, and Joel Green gets Murray State on the board here in the first half.
Yeah, what a way to start it there for this Murray State team. They're looking for that offense early on, and they found it right away. Great job by Joshua Adeyemi to get that run, get behind the defense, and then create that space between him and Marzoli. Because he had one touch. He knew he was going to be too close to Marzoli to take a shot. Marzoli was there if he would have been able to take that shot. He would have saved it. So he tapped it out to the left, going around Marzoli, and Marzoli had nothing else to do but take him down.
Joel Green picks up his 7th goal of the season, his first penalty kick taken this year, and he now has at least 1 point in 5 of the last 7 matches as the sophomore captain from Manchester, England, has truly found his form for the Aggies here late in the season. And Murray State quickly up 1-0 with an 8th-minute penalty kick goal scored by Green.
And the biggest thing for NEO is to make sure this doesn't snowball. The last time these two teams played in the last game of the season for NEO, it was 7-0. Murray won. They do not want to lose control of this game.
Noble to back out to where the free kick is taking place on the foul. Chance for NEO to pressure those. They need to answer, and like you said, don't allow this thing to snowball a little bit. First one to the ball, though, is going to be Murray State and getting it forward. Adeyemi had a touch on it. Instead, it trickles out to this near side of Castro. Castro back to the back line of Radenovic. Radenovic gets it to the outside of Varela. Varela sends it to the box. It bounces, and Noble able to play it off the turf.
Yeah, Noble's a really tall goalkeeper. It's tough to get anything above him into the top of the net.
Deflected, NEO still on offense. Good sliding tackle, though. Coming in is Montoya Arboleda. Arboleda, after the penalty kick was scored, he came back and was raising his hands to the Murray State women's team, who's here to watch the number 2 seed on the women's bracket. Marzoli brings it in. For Davide Marzoli, trailing 1-0. That's going to be a tough task for him and his NEO team to try to chip after. And they're not the most offensively sound squad here in Region 2. Marzoli's goal kick, well, it'll turn into a goal kick on the other side for Noble as it rolls all the way across the end line.
And you can only do so much as a goalkeeper. He was in a one-on-one situation with Adeyemi. Ended up conceding the penalty, and it's a 50-50 chance. You have to take a guess on those penalty kicks, and Marzoli guessed wrong.
I mean, he guessed right. It just went underneath his arm, technically. He guessed the right side. Just couldn't get his body down to the ground in time to be able to stop it. It was a better PK, in my opinion, taken by Green. Radenovic, back to Marzoli. Marzoli looking up. Chips it forward. Played in off the chest. Sent to the back line once again. And now movement here by the Golden Norsemen. At midfield, they work around. Out to this near side. Castro with it. Castro looking to the box. The shot. Deflected off the legs. I believe it was Montoya Arboleda again. It actually wasn't. It was Mayrink that got in there to disrupt it. This one back the other way. Hockley can't find anything on target himself. Noble plays the kick short. That time it was to Montoya Arboleda. Green pushing back, play possession and get possession, and he does. The chip pass onside, but that one worked to the midfield instead of the outside as Adeyemi was hoping for it to get to the right wing.
Yeah, it took a really interesting bounce. It bounced all the way from right to left and just out of the reach of Adeyemi.
On the far side, and he goes through pass Nobody home, and that one's going to roll across the, oh no, Noble's going to go out there and play it before it gets to a goal kick. I guess it's whatever your preference is as a goalkeeper. Through ball this time. Nobody to be found. Saito got a deflection off the clearance by Neo. Back to midfield. Castro. Got it to Mate. Got it right back from Mate. The cross into the box. And a clearance. Played in by Murray State. Adeyemi, a good move. Adeyemi. One touch pass over. It was to Woolley, and Woolley tried to give it right back to Adeyemi, but offsides is going to be the call.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much I agree with that call on the offsides. It looked like Adeyemi was running foot and stride for stride with the Neo defenseman. I thought he was going to be a call for the Neo defenseman grabbing the arm of Adeyemi, but they call him offsides.
It'll be Radenovic, I should say, to take this free kick.
And Adeyemi has caused a lot of problems for Murray State. For Neo, he is by far, I believe, the fastest player on either of these two teams. And I don't think there's anybody Neo has that can keep up with him in a foot race.
And they have Kamenar marking him for the most part. Granted, Kamenar is playing that left back, so it matches up at the moment. Top of the box, Landels over to the right side. The shot deflected and out of bounds to the left side. It's a corner kick coming in for the Golden Norsemen.
And speaking of Kamenar, like you said, he's only played in 4 games. His first game played was against Eastern, where he was on the field for about 5 minutes, picked up 2 yellow cards, and got tossed out for a red card. He did start the last 2 games of the season, but he's had some trouble with some of those penalties and picking up some fouls.
Corner kick coming in. Looking to play it short, and they do. Off the end line. Centered. The cross. Another deflection, I think, and Hockley, no. Hockley sends it out of bounds, so Murray State will take over. Goal kick coming in for Jaron Noble. Noble, the native of Graham, Texas. The sophomore goalkeeper. He's only given up at most 4 goals in a game this season. That was against NOC Enid. Played around. Mate found the pass through. And Neo still trying to work on offense. They get there. Try to get it into the box, but great deflection out of the way by Murray State.
And speaking of that 4-goal game, that was right here on this field at Enid and at the Advanced Soccer Complex. So not a whole lot of success for Jaron Noble here in Enid, Oklahoma.
Green tried to get in on the tackle. Eventually it is won by Murray State, but only as far as Varela it could go. Out of bounds for a Neo throw-in. To take the throw will be Jacob Landels. Landels gets it right back. Trying to drive forward. It's deflected backwards. Murray State in possession now. And Saito doing everything he can as he's tripped up as well. No whistle. Play continues. And Neo tries to get it forward. Murch is there. Murch over to Saito. Played in by Green. Green gets it right back over to Murch. Murch the through ball. Adeyemi onside. The shot deflected by Marzoli and a save. No, it was never deflected because they're tracking backwards for a goal kick. I thought I saw it take a little bounce underneath the body of Marzoli, but a goal kick nonetheless.
Yeah, Chip just went a little bit wide, and for Adeyemi, he's gone on a bit of a scoreless drought. He hasn't scored since September 20th, over a month. Does have 4 goals on the year. 2 of those came against Connors early on this season. One of them at Trinity in the opening game, and then at NEO on that day on the 20th.
And Murray State started the season 3 straight shutouts. It was them outscoring their opponents 9-0 until they saw their first loss against Rose State, where they got shut out 3-0. Murray State had a really big 5-2 win against Eastern. That was Eastern's only blemish in Region 2 action this season. Otherwise, they would have ran a perfect Region 2 on the regular season. Marzoli gets the pass backwards. Goes over to the right side with it. From Varela to Marzoli, and now over to Radenovic. Radenovic looking forward, trying to find Castro on a run. Can Castro get there? No. Noble beats him to the spot, and Jared Noble brings it in. The Jets are flying proud today here in Enid. The Air Force Base here in the city of Enid. It's always one of my favorite things is watching these Jets fly by and hearing them. Noble pressured. Not the best clearance in the world for him, but Carl Murch is able to get the positioning, and a missed pass by Mayrink goes out of bounds.
And the Jets aren't only flying, they're going to be playing soccer in about 2 hours' time as the Enid Jets are taking on Eastern in a women's matchup.
I thought you were going to talk about New York Jets, and I said, Aaron Rodgers out there playing soccer. That'd be interesting. He's hurt anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he could play soccer with his Achilles.
Kamenar the throw in. Found it into Matse, but it's a turnover. Outside. Trying to find Green. Green crosses it into the box, but that goes all the way to the other side. Saido's there. Saido's centering pass up the top of the box. Driven in. The shot! Marzoli the save and the clearance. Davide Marzoli does it again.
And a good job there on the defense for Varela clearing it out, just making sure that Marzoli didn't have to deal with anything extra there as he was trying to get back up to his feet.
A throw in. Good closeout by Murray State, able to play it back. Inside the box, they're onside. Centered, but cleared away by that backline defense of Kamenar once again. Still Murray State, though, pressuring inside their box. It's cleared by Enio. All the way over to Noble it goes. He'll play it off of his foot as he's outside the box. And up and over the defense intended for Mayrink on this near side as Mayrink's playing a little bit more forward, and a high kick by Victor Mayrink. Quickly played by the Golden Norsemen. Wearing the captain's armband today is Alfie Hockley. Looking for Kamenar on this near side. He brings it in. One-on-one against Adeyemi. The cross to the box, headed away, and a good clearance there for the Aggies. 20 minutes into this first half. Murray State with the 1-0 lead after a converted penalty kick by Joel Green. After Adeyemi had a great touch inside the box, and Marzoli got called for the foul plus the yellow card. Just one up forward. A big meeting at the bodies of two big gentlemen. Adeyemi and Radenovic meet at the shoulders. And Radenovic, the recipient of the worst contact.
And I think the contact was worse for Radenovic, but Adeyemi was the one who contacted the ball. I mean, he's the one who played the ball. Radenovic didn't touch it. I mean, obviously, Radenovic is down. A lot of the time, you're going to give the call to the team with the guy who goes down, but I think Adeyemi was the one who played that more clean than Radenovic did.
And he's holding the small of his back right now, kind of that left hip area at the moment. Radenovic, I wouldn't want to go one-on-one against him, but Adeyemi, like I said, he's got some good size on him, so he has the confidence to be able to match up with anybody on the defensive end.
And he was coming at him with a head of steam, too. He was on a run, trying to get behind the defense. Radenovic, one of the bigger defenders, if not the biggest defender in the region.
I'm saying, I mean, he looks like a UFC fighter out there pretty much. He's back to his feet, set and ready to go. He'll get readjusted and set ready to play the final 25 minutes of this first half. Chance for a quick breather as well, and a little bit of a change of pace a little bit. Marzoli getting some words of advice as well on some adjustments to make. Kamenar to take this free kick, as looks like Radenovic is going to be walking over to the sideline for the moment at least. At the moment, 9 position players on the field for the Golden Norsemen. We'll see if they play that way or they bring a substitution on. Nothing so far. And that leaves a back line of just 3 players right now against a Murray State team that has a great offense. We'll see if they take advantage. Adeyemi had his pass intercepted. It was intercepted by Peluso. Now Joel Green with it. And I think a late substitution just came on. This is a through ball. Cleared back by Varela. Marzoli has to play it with his foot. Does and kicks it forward. Headed away, but Mayrink is there.
NEO still with 9 field players. 10 including their goalkeeper.
Offsides called on Woolley.
And Radenovic is coming back on now. It looks like he just raised his hand, so he's coming back on.
He will be back on the pitch for Coach Young. And Coach Adam Young in his first season for the Golden Norsemen. It was a tough year for them overall record-wise, but like you said in the pregame show, Kay, this is a NEO team that has battled in almost every single match they've played. A lot of one-score games, 2 at the most. I mean, they've had, 4-0 loss against Rose State and 7-0 against Murray. I'd say those are the 2 most lopsided losses this year, and they are, but those 2 came in the last 3 matches. Those are their last 2 losses. So, you hope for Coach Young that this team isn't coming to this Region 2 tournament playing their worst soccer of the year. And you also hope that maybe that was their worst soccer and they got it out of their system, trying to play their best soccer here. But trailing 1-0 at the moment.
And NEO hasn't made the tournament since 2019. This is their first tournament appearance since then. I do want to preface that by saying if the tournament was set up like it has been in years past, NEO would have missed out on the tournament as it was only a 4-team tournament before.
The additions of Connors State allowed this men's tournament to open up to 6 teams, and on the women's side it helped open up to a district tournament as well, adding Connors State. As Kamenar once again got in between the Aggie of Mayrink trying to bring in this throw-in. And the throw-in goes in the vicinity of Murch. Murch, a good close out and a box out. Double team pressure. A bump from behind, no call, no whistle, out of bounds.
Yeah, and I'm surprised the line judge is right on that. He saw the bump from behind, and after what looked like a delay of game to me from Kamenar, I think the referees should probably give him a warning soon.
Murray State throw to the box. Murch stuck a foot out there, but nothing to be had for. This one cleared away high up in the air by NEO. It takes a big bounce. Playing it backwards is going to be Arboleda. But NEO is down there. Still, the ball up in the air is going to travel closer to the net. That's cleared down by Castro. Castro still with it. Now to this near side for Mate. Good passing at the moment by Hockley. Hockley looking for an opening. Hockley shoots at the net. Noble almost had it go between his legs, but he makes the save nonetheless.
Yeah, he made the save, but it didn't look super secure. I think Murray State's going to be thanking their lucky stars. This still is a 0-0 or a 1-0 game, excuse me.
Jaron Noble, I think luckily you got his legs kind of closed in as he went down to the ground. Most people kind of squat down to play it if they need to, but he had to bring his legs together and then go down to his knees to make sure that one didn't dribble past him, or else, like you said, it would have been all tied up at 1.
And there was no NEO player forward enough to try to make something out of that deflection either.
Battled around. Looking on this near side for Castro. Castro has it. Got around the defense for a second. The chip pass intended for Peluso, unable to be found, and cleared away by Murray State. But here comes Radenovic into the action. Played to the back line of Varela. A give and go on the far side. Good movement by the Golden Norsemen right now on the far side of the field, but a turnover. Gets possession back over, and here goes another run intended for Adeyemi, but headed away by Radenovic. Murch got possession for a second. A sliding tackle by Varela disrupted it.
And I think Murch would have had a little bit more luck if he didn't kind of get in a tangle up with his teammate while he was trying to gain that possession.
26 minutes into this first half. Murray State with an 8-minute goal, a penalty kick scored by the captain in Joel Green. That's the difference at the moment. Noble's played a good keeper so far as he gets it all the way back. He almost had one go in, but off the crossbar it went. Adeyemi playing all the way back at the center defensive midfield position is over on this right wing now. Moving forward is going to be Mayrink. It doesn't go his way. Instead, it's outside for Sido. And out of bounds, good closeout by the defense of the Golden Norsemen. Back to their back line. Varela gets it over to Radenovic. Radenovic going forward with it. Intended for Castro, unable to be found. And Radenovic clears it away. He's chasing after it to save it from being a corner kick. And he did. And it works into a throw-in. Both him and Adeyemi battling for it.
Yeah, he put his toe on it right on the line. If he would have got there a half second later, it would have been a corner kick.
Good for him to see the urgency and the health as well for him. Trying to get down there, save a corner kick. Into the box it goes, cleared away. Coming back to play, it's going to be Arboleda. Actually, it's going to be Noble because that ball just continues to bounce and roll all the way down this turf, and Noble will bring it in. He'll roll it out quickly. Volovic to this near side for Mayrink. Mayrink with the left foot. Up into the air it goes, drifting backwards. And that one cleared away by Kamenar. Towards the goal, but it bounces to the right side of it, out of play. And that goal by Murray State, technically the first goal scored on the right side of the field here so far today through the first almost 2.5 games played. But, I mean, do we really count it even though it's a penalty kick? Nothing came in the play of action.
I mean, the fourth penalty kick on that side, we're almost at a tie. 4 on one side, all penalty kicks. 5 on the other side, all open play goals.
Valid point. Adeyemi with it. Trying to change all that right now. Adeyemi, does he get there? He gets his first foot to it. Great pressure, but it's laid off. The shot. Well, wide to the right by Woolley.
Yeah, a great dump-off pass by Adeyemi. Adeyemi has played incredible today. I have really enjoyed watching him. He didn't play the last 2 games of the year. He actually missed the game against Enid, which was a 4-2 loss, and missed the game against NEO, which was a 7-0 win for Murray. So NEO didn't really have as much to prepare for Adeyemi because, I mean, the last time they played him, they didn't see Adeyemi. It was a completely different game.
He's had a great season, like you said. 4 goals and 3 assists for him. Looking for Castro for NEO, not able to be found. There he is, Adeyemi. He'll be on almost every touch. That one forward, onside, 1v1. It's a nice, easy goal. Dominic Woolley adds the second for Murray State.
He came into this tournament with 3 goals in the last 3 games, make it 4 goals in the last 4 games now for Woolley. He has really turned on another level of his offensive game.
Dominic Woolley, the native of England. I'm going to go Loughborough. I have no, it looks like it. Loughborough,
right
Loughborough, England, though, nonetheless, adds his 7th goal of the season. And he has at least 1 point in 5 out of the last 7 matches for him himself as well. So both him and Joel Green have been 2 superstars over the last chunk of the regular season. and continuing it into the postseason as well, as they both have the goals for the Aggies so far.
Yeah, that's 2 of the 3 first-teamers for Murray State. The only one who hasn't scored yet is the first-team forward in Lucas Peruzzo.
What a run it was, though, by Woolley. He stayed on sides. A great pass. I apologize for not knowing exactly who picked up the assist, but a great pass nonetheless on the assist. A great run by Woolley, and concentration. You know, he's just in his ear waiting to see if a whistle is going to happen. He's looking straight one-on-one against Marzoli, and he was able to capitalize, and Marzoli had no chance. This one intercepted by Squires.
And Squires has scored in both of the last 2 games, so 2 straight games of scoring for Squires. He's missed a good chunk of games this year.
There's Squires with it as he'll get it back to Mayrink. Mayrink over to Arboleda. Arboleda gets it up to Murch. Murch takes a shoulder, and Green clears it out of the presence. Up to Woolley. Woolley sends it forward. They're just throwing it into no man's land, and there's an Aggie there every time. Worked around the shot. Left side, no good. That was a good chance by Montague.
And really good close out there for Marzoli. It forced the shot from Montague to go wide left, because if he would have had it on target, the body of Marzoli was all over it.
NEO now trailing 2-0, and a tough spot for them. They only have 14 goals scored this season. They're going to need to find some offense here in a hurry. 31 minutes into this first half. That one over to Castro. Castro couldn't get enough on it. And an easy save by Noble.
And Noble's got to be feeling comfortable now. He's got a 2-0 lead, but if you've watched this tournament so far today, you know a 2-0 lead isn't 100% safe. And Murray has to keep their foot on the gas pedal.
Radenovich plays it. All the way back to Marzoli it goes. Marzoli, I don't think he's really made a save yet today, and already has given up 2 goals. It's a unique game for him, as usually he'll find a few saves before a team is able to, as an offside's called here, but he's usually able to make the saves, and then teams have to adjust around him. Well, right now he's the one having to adjust around this Murray State offense, as now that is 9 straight goals scored by this Murray State offense against NEO over the last 2 matches played. And really, that's 2 matches for NEO as a whole. Castro, though, trying to change things. Castro shot! Noble's there.
And if you include the other match that Murray State played against NEO this year, Murray's outscored NEO 11-0 so far this season in 2.5 matches. We're almost halftime, 13 minutes to halftime. But yeah, 11-0 Murray has outscored NEO so far this year.
This one played in by Squires. Now back to Arboleda. They switch sides to the midfield and back over to this near side once again. Murch with it. Over to Mayrink. Mayrink, a good tackle, though, by Castro. Forces that ball out of bounds. Mayrink will throw it.
And it's not all on Marzoli. I mean, both of the 2 goals scored by Murray State today were in one-on-one situations. Woolley got behind the defense, and then the penalty kick was a penalty kick. You know, there's not much more you can do there if you're a goalkeeper. But, you know, like you said, he hasn't had a save. Those 2 shots that he allowed in, both really tough to stop.
And they've been attacking the 2 center backs of Radenovich and Varela. And once again attacking the 2. Great header forward. Unable to be found, though. Across into the box. Cleared away at the moment. Radenovich able to get up forward to Kamenar.
Yeah, and Radenovich is a really good center back, but he doesn't have the speed to keep up with all of these really quick forwards for Murray State.
Over to Castro. They're really trying to feed Castro here today. Sent back up top. The shot deflected. Peluso tried to put something on target. This one is on target. And a save by Noble. What a strike, though, from the top right of the box. I want to say it was Peleo Suarez with the strike.
And there's not a lot of goalkeepers in the region that could make that save, but Jaron Noble, one of the bigger and taller goalkeepers, has a few inches of height even on Marzoli, who's a big goalkeeper himself.
Now a corner kick for the Golden Norsemen is they need a soccer ball. They get one in. Again, a big shout out to the ball boys. And they're still working around for a soccer ball, and they get one. Now the corner to the box. Noble chased after it, retreats back, and that one clears everybody. Radenovic couldn't get there. And a goal kick for Noble.
And it was a good corner kick. If NEO's offense would have been able to get there, Noble's back was turned to everybody on the field as he was trying to track that one down and might have lost it in the sky a little bit.
Noble's goal kick coming up. Puts a foot on the ball, some substitutions for Coach Young real quick in NEO. 35 minutes into this first half, 10 minutes left. A 2-0 lead from Murray State, well in charge as the number 3 seed. And I mean, for Murray State, well, let me take this back. For NEO, as Merch drives forward, Adeyemi, or I'm sorry, not Adeyemi, offsides nonetheless by Murray State, as that was Squires on the run. But for NEO, to play Murray State in your first round, you've got to be frustrated because this is a Murray State team that was the number 2 team in the region for 99% of the year until the final game of the year. When they lost to Enid, dropped them to the number 3 seed, it bumped up NOC Enid to the number 2 seed on the men's side, and now Murray State has to play 3 games instead of the 2 that they expected to play.
And to play the what-if game, NEO was outscored 9-0 in the regular season by Murray. They were outscored 2-0 in the regular season from Enid, who they would have played if not for Murray losing in the last game of their regular season against Enid.
It'll be a long road for all of these teams playing here today. They'll have to find 3 wins to be region champions or district champions.
Yeah, if any of these teams that are playing today win 2 games, we'll be having championship Sunday as opposed to championship Saturday.
We already have technically 2 semifinals set up. You have Seminole against Eunice on the women's side, and then Eastern against Rose State, as that one's to the box, cleared away by Murray State at the moment. Back to the box it goes. Noble gets there in front of Castro. Noble rolls it out. In no hurry with a 2-0 lead. At midfield. Back to the back line once again. A little give and go. Woolley was there. Abaleda up to Murch. Trying to find the through ball. Can Squires get there? Squires does get there. Radenovic just doesn't have the speed. The centering pass. The shot. What a save by Marzoli again. What a pass by Squires. Murray State still on possession. The shot was from
Barclay on the shot.
Another shot deflected this time. Murray State still on offense. Woolley to the box with the chip and a more lofted pass coming in to play it. Lucky that wasn't a high kick. Still sliding tackle by Cam Menard to clear it. Got his boot up really high against Mayrink and didn't get called for it.
Yeah, I don't think Cam Menard knew where that ball was entirely. When Mayrink was coming in, it looked like he had a good look at it, but Cam Menard was trying to find in the air where it was. Eventually cleared it out, but dangerous moments for NEO.
Japhet Rodriguez, they're right in front of the throw-in by Suarez, so good to see him. Didn't get the start today, but getting some play-in time, and a big strong tackle by Mayrink just a bit ago on the slide, kind of has him walking around a little gingerly. Now Cam Menard to take the throw. Good movement, gets it to the guy that was moving around, a little bump in the back, Peluso. Peluso with it again. Peluso one-on-one, centers to the box. Nobody home as it drifts through. Radenovic with it. And a tackle back the other way as Radenovic went down. Squires offsides as Barclay tried to get it to him.
Yeah, he's way offside. There's a good trap there by the defense of NEO. If that pass would have came a little bit quicker, I think Squires would have been free, but Enio knew exactly when that pass was coming and stepped forward as soon as they saw it.
Well, and they had the numbers too because Radenovic was down after the interception by Barclay. Just didn't get the timing right. Murray State back on offense, and this time Woolley gets past the defense. Gets it outside, but it's another offsides by Barclay.
Yeah, and this line judge has been very busy today. Some really close calls on the offsides. That one I agree with as well. I think he's done a good job with most of these offsides calls.
Quickly played by the Golden Norsemen as they're trying to find a late goal in this first half to make it a more manageable deficit going into halftime. Currently 2-0 with 5 minutes left in the first half. Kamenar with it. Ground pass over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez played it back. Palma. Back to Palma. Palma switches sides. Chasing after it, Varela. Varela getting forward across midfield. Headed away, though, by Saito, and good defensive effort there by Murray State.
Yeah, and Enio going a little bit deeper into their bench today for Palma. He's only started in 4 games, appeared in 8. Just over half of the games he's appeared in this season, but he's missed a good chunk.
Near side, Kamenar with it. Enio with possession at midfield. 4 minutes left in the half. Mate with it. Ignacio goes left side over to Kamenar. Kamenar able to get around the defense. Good bend to the ball, but better defense by Murray State on the back line to get the interception. Trying to find the through ball to Barclay, but Golden Norsemen stand strong.
Yeah, and Murray's just overwhelmed this Enio team here in the first half with their speed.
And a push off by Barclay. No card to be shown. So he was just trying to transition back. But a free kick taken. Trying to find Castro and catch Murray State off their toes, but the Aggies are a well-disciplined team. Barclay in a foot race. Wins it for a second. Can he set up any offense? Double team pressure. There's more Murray State Aggies here, though, as that one's mistouched and mishandled. Joel Green had come up to play it, and I think he was trying to get it over to this near side for Squires, but it rolled off of his foot wrong.
Yeah, and it caught the face of Varela. Eventually went to Marzoli.
Kamenar with some pace. Now over to Castro. Castro trying to catch up to it. Will not be able to, but it is a throw-in for Murray State just by the corner flag. A chance here for Enio to pressure and trap into this near side corner with 2.5 minutes left in the first half. It's been really a very competitive region all the way around. Like you said, Kate, it's Murray State's been Enio's kryptonite. Murray's kind of been Eastern's kryptonite in a sense. Rose State has been Murray's kryptonite. So there's been a lot of different, kind of a triangle per se, where one team beats one, the other one beats the other one, but they beat them. It's been very competitive, and even after one team already eliminated today in Connors State, I think this region is still completely wide open for anybody to capture. Murray State, though, trying to put this one away early. Not able to. Marzoli gets there. Marzoli has Rodriguez and Kamenar wide open. Waited a long time. He had an open lane to throw and finally gets it over to Kamenar. They have 1.5 minutes left to push up this field. Kamenar does just that. Gets it up to Jafet Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to the middle of the field. Sees a double team. Able to find the pass. Out to this near side. Kamenar crosses to the box. The header can't be found towards the net. It goes out of bounds. And a missed opportunity there for the Golden Norsemen.
Yeah, and like you were talking about, there's a couple teams in this region probably don't want to see. For Murray State, that team is Rose. They've lost both of their games against Rose. 2 0-3 losses, so they've been outscored 0-6. For Enio, that team this year has been Murray State. I mean, they've been outscored coming into this game 9-0. It's now up to 11-0. That doesn't mean that this game is well and out of hand, but for Enio, this team has given them the most issues this year.
Like I said, the only blemish to Eastern was Murray State. Finding a victory over them. Enid moving up to the number 2 seeds. Been playing some really good soccer lately. With their win against Murray State, they split. Actually, Enid is 1-0-1 against Murray State this year. A win and a draw. So maybe another little kryptonite there where Murray doesn't want to see them, especially on Enid's home field.
Yeah, and if that's the next matchup, which if Murray State wins this game, that would be a really fun matchup between two very good teams. And either way it goes, if NEO wins this game or if Murray wins this game, it provides two very different types of games. I mean, for NEO,
this one, NEO trying to find a late score, but the free kick misses to the left, and with 20 seconds left, that might be the final chance.
For NEO, they've been outscored 0-2, 0-1 losses against Enid. Those would be fun games, some close games that we've seen this year. And for Murray State, like you said, Enid has played them really tough this year, a draw and a 4-2 win.
And the clock hits 45 minutes. That's the end of the first half, 2-0. Murray State with the lead. A penalty kick converted by Joel Green in the 8th minute. And then in the 29th minute, it was a goal scored by Woolley. 2-0. The Aggies lead here at halftime. We'll take a break. Be back for a little halftime show in the second half right here on Mountaineer TV. After giving up that second goal, they continue to pressure and try to find some of their offense. So for Coach Young, trying to make some halftime adjustments for himself to see where things can go. Like you said, he's opened up the roster as well to play a couple of guys that haven't really played this season and as many games. I believe Palma came in. Maybe Jacob Woods gets his name called here later on today. Alvarado as well. And for Murray State, for them to just try to hold on to a 2-0 lead and maybe add more on as insurance, they're looking really, really good so far today.
Yeah, and Murray State was going the way that you don't want to go to start off. I mean, you want to have the wind at your back. Now Murray State will have these next 45 minutes with the wind at their back. We'll see if that gives them a little bit of an advantage. It might even give them a disadvantage the way that they're playing their forwards up. They're trying to play that long ball, but they're so fast that NEO has played a little bit more forward. The wind might actually carry it a little bit too far towards the goalie the way that they've been playing.
Yeah, but for Woolley, he was the first person to score a true goal on that right side of the field with the wind in the face. Yes, Joel Green had his penalty kick in the 8th minute, but he didn't really have the wind affecting him, and offsides here by Saito. Saito still takes the shot towards Marzoli. Not too strong. He was kind of just passing it to him, knowing that he was going to need it eventually.
And a lot of offsides so far today for Murray State, but when you've got a couple goals because of those runs, you're not going to be super upset about the offsides, but certainly something that they're going to have to look at. Yeah,
Coach Connor had it listed as 7 at halftime, so make that offsides number 8 of the match today. Up into the air, headed away by Arboleda. Only as far, though, as Jacob Landels. Landels still with it. Landels going to the end line. Landels trying to bring it back. Crosses, centers, into the box. Noble's there. An easy save for Noble, as Jaron Noble's had a pretty good game so far today, keeping a clean sheet at the moment. Something that he's achieved every time he's played NEO this year. Green with it. Goes up top. Adeyemi too strong of a touch as he eventually rolls all the way over to Marzoli. Marzoli roll it out to Varela. Varela. Strong pass into Landels. Landels doing everything he can, but Woolley intercepts it. Adeyemi with it. One-on-one against Radenovic. Adeyemi with some defenders tracking back. Adeyemi! No goal. Or they called a goal. He waved his arms like he was negating it, but a good goal. Okay, so Adeyemi does score. I apologize to the Murray State fans. And that's why I said my mediocre soccer knowledge earlier today, because the hand signals I'm getting used to from time to time.
Yeah, he was stopping the clock. But yeah, a good goal from Adeyemi, and he's earned that goal. He's played so well today. He created the penalty kick that was the first goal of the day from Joel Green. He's the one who got fouled inside the box, and now with this open play goal, he's found his first goal since September 20th.
And 5th on the season for Adeyemi. And again, the guy that you said hasn't played and hadn't played in the last 2 matches on the tally here today. 3-0, Murray State with the lead, and another great offensive possession for them, all out of Adeyemi. Like you said, he has basically been a part of at least 2 of the goals. I think it was Squires and Woolley on Woolley's goal that combined for the build-up. Saito here. And just out of his reach in front of him.
Yeah, and I mean, Adeyemi has really been a one-man wrecking crew all day long. And I think a good reason for that is Varela has kind of been shadowing Peruzzo all game. Peruzzo's the leading goal scorer and assist man for this Murray team. And because Varela's kind of had his handful shadowing Peruzzo, it's been up to the other defenders to try to worry about Adeyemi, worry about Joel Green, Carl Murch, whoever it may be. They just don't have the speed to keep up with him. But if you're Varela, it's a double-edged sword. Either you stop shadowing Lucas Peruzzo, who's been incredible this year, or you go and try to stop a guy like Adeyemi, and then now Peruzzo is going to get free.
And it makes me wonder, too, because for Peruzzo, with his 11 goals, 18th best in the nation, he has 0 against NEO this season. I'm sorry, he has 2 against NEO. I was reading it as trying to find Murray State in there written down in my head, to be honest. And I was like, oh, he hasn't scored. No, he hasn't scored
against Murray State.
He has not. That's a valid fact. I mean, unless there was an own goal in there somewhere. But he does have 2 goals against NEO, but still out of his 11, that's only 2. So, for NEO, why they're putting so much emphasis on stopping him and allowing the open opportunities to Adeyemi, it's a little baffling because Radenovic can't keep up.
Yeah, and I think probably the big reason for that is just because of the hot streak that Peruzzo's been on as of late. He's got 6 goals and 8 assists in the last 6 games. And that's really where a lot of these statistics for Peruzzo have come from, is as of late he is really turned on and turned on another leaf for how his offense has been creating.
I mean, it's dangerous, for Enid and Eastern and for Rose State as well, if they're able to advance. Building life into this Murray State team, I mean, by them getting the number 3 seed, I think it woke up a beast, to be honest. I think this Murray State team is going to attempt to get their way to that championship match on what would be Sunday for them if they're able to be victorious against Enid tomorrow. But I think this Murray State team, I mean, they were a matchup against Eastern where if they were victorious, they would have taken over the number 1 seed at that moment in time against Eastern, as both of them have come in with 1 loss on the year. Eastern had lost to Murray, and then at that point, Murray's loss was against Rose State. But then Eastern was able to, I guess they had 2. They had lost both against Rose State. But if they would have won, they would have had the tiebreaker at that point with the head-to-head matchup and would have been the number 1 seed at that moment in time. As there is an injury right now on the far side is this delay in action, and referees talking about things, well, one referee, but players and the referee. But regardless, this Murray State team, I think they're the best 3 seed this tournament has ever seen.
Yeah, and I mean, these teams are getting better and better every single year. The region is growing, and I mean, the soccer is continuing to improve. Murray State's an incredible team. They've been a team that have been ranked this year. They've received votes this year. They've been up in the rankings, and for good reason. And momentum's a real thing. And, throughout the regular season, you take a 3-day break. You take a 4-day break in between games that you play every 3 or 4 days. Your momentum kind of runs a little bit out once you have those 3 or 4-day breaks. But when you have a back-to-back game or a game and then a 1 day off and then another game, you can carry that momentum a little bit easier.
NEO trying to do something here, though, as they trail by 3. Still pressuring. And you like to see the fight that the Golden Norsemen are given all year long. Like we said, close matchups all season. Only 2 wins to show from it, but they have fought tooth and nail against everybody. But if this 3-0 score holds for, I'd say, probably the next 20 minutes, I wouldn't be shocked if Coach Connor rotates an entire platoon. And that includes, even giving Noble a little bit of a break and breather and going with a brand new 11 that maybe hasn't even played today or has played minimum minutes, just to rest them up for, 2 more days that they hope to have. Because like you said, these teams are used to playing pretty quickly, but there hasn't been a stretch like this where they're playing 3 games in 4 days if they want to become region champions.
Yeah, and if they do make that substitution at goalie just to try to keep Jaron Noble fresh, it'll be Iker Areola who comes in and would take over as the backup goalkeeper for Murray State.
And, for NEO, like I said, for Coach Young, he might be able to rotate as well. I mean, you don't want to throw the white flag in, but, some of your freshmen looking into next year to try to find some life and support. That's why I mentioned a couple of other guys earlier. But, for Murray State, they've controlled this one. NEO has had their moments, just nothing close enough that Noble's had to make a big save on. But there have been times that it's skimmed the crossbar. It's, had to be brought in by Noble. Just haven't been able to find those goals scored today, and that's been pretty much the story of the season. They just haven't had the offense. They've had great goalkeeping. They've had good defense. Just haven't found the offense.
Yeah, and they've only scored 3 goals 3 separate times this season, one of those being a loss against Rich Mountain 4-3. They had a 3-2 win against Rose and a 4-1 win against Rich as well. But 3 games like that, if you look at a team like Murray, they had a 5-0 win against Trinity, a 3-0 win against Rich, a 4-2 against Connors, a 5-1 against Eastern. That's only the first half of their season. I could go on and on with how when they get going, this offense really gets to another level.
NEO back on offense, though. They play it back to the back line. Good hustle by Varela. Varela looking forward and looking up. A short pass, though, into Landels. Landels tripped up from behind by Saito. And Landels earns himself a free kick.
Yeah, and for everybody at home, the clock is counting up from 45. So we're in the 52nd minute. I know it says we're in the 7th minute, but we're in the 52nd minute. 7th minute of half number 2.
3-0. Murray State with the lead. They scored twice in the first half, once here in the second half, and NEO looking for anything to go their way, and they don't find it, but back the other way goes Murray State, 1-on-1, and another trip by Marzoli, and did he dive? That's what the referee calls. That would have been Marzoli's second yellow if he would have called it, but Peruzzo tried to drive to his right and dove as he made contact with Marzoli.
And I think that might have been a little bit of a layoff, no call. I think it probably should have been a call. I mean, Marzoli didn't make contact with the ball, and he took out Peruzzo. There was contact in there, so probably should have been a call that was made as a penalty. But in a 3-0 game, I think the referee is going to give a little bit more leeway to this NEO team.
Yeah, no referee wants to give a red card to a goalkeeper, especially on double yellows. Did it look identical to what happened in the first half with Adeyemi? Absolutely. I think there was more of a slide by Marzoli than this one. And for Peruzzo, he forced it into that same situation. He should have just shot. He should have shot on net. I mean, it's a big net. Yes, Marzoli plays great keeper, but, find the shot. Don't try to draw the penalty kick and find a second yellow on Marzoli. But the score holds at 3-0. It'll be a throw-in for the Aggies. I'm sorry, for the Golden Horsemen of NEO. Throwing down the far side. All 3 games has pretty much been played on that far side up by the benches in both halves of every game. Nothing's been on this near side. We want to see the action on the near side up close. But out of bounds it goes. It'll be another NEO throw-in as they continue to maneuver up the field bit by bit. And this match is well from over, don't get me wrong. Plenty of time still left. Soccer is an incredible sport where goals can happen in a flurry. And all it takes is one out of NEO, and that's going to spark up some life for them as Radenovic able to maneuver around. Gets it over to Varela. And that's all NEO's looking for, but costly turnovers. Tough defense from time to time. Haven't been able to execute there, and for Marzoli, 3 goals given up. That's one of the worst games he's had outside of, like I said, the 7-0 loss against Murray State and 4-0 against Rose.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple games where the score has gotten out of hand, but he's still limited to 2.17 goals allowed per game, and and that's including a 11-0 loss against Coffeyville. So he's just been incredible this season. It just hasn't been his day. He hasn't really had too much help from his defense today, but there's still a lot of time, still 35 minutes left if NEO wants to try to turn this around, but they got to get their offense going pretty quickly.
Marzoli plays it out to Radenovich. Moving forward down that left side once again. Trying to work off the defense. I believe of Mayrink on the far side. Actually, it was off the defense of Volovic. Urose, second team defenseman for Murray State, as well as Mayrink and Adeyemi, a second team forward. And then Joel Green and Woolley, the 2 goal scorers today. Well, 2 of the 3, I should say. First team midfielders. I mean, 2 out of the 3 first team to score today is Peruzzo. I almost made it a perfect 3 for 3 just a little bit ago. NEO unable to find it on the far side. Intended and looked for Kamenar, who's pretty much played all 56 minutes so far. I make it 57 as it just ticks over to 12 minutes into this second half.
Yeah, and he's had a tough assignment trying to keep up with the speed on that far side.
This one racing forward, but that's going to roll across the end line out of bounds. Unable to be found, and that'll be a goal. Oh, it'll be a corner kick. It was last touched by NEO, they say. I thought it was a through pass that just missed completely. But a break here for Murray State to be able to set up into the offensive end for a corner kick again.
And I think NEO has one of the best corner kick defenders in the region in Luka Radenovich. I mean, he's just a big body with some good strength. He's a guy to try to avoid if you're Murray State on this corner.
Yeah, but Joel Green, the left-footed striker, I mean, technically a midfielder, but you get what I mean as far as his left-footed strikes go. He'll take this corner kick. The captain for Murray State in his sophomore year. Hard corner kick taken and cleared away a long way. It'll be a goal kick. So it was cleared by Murray State on the shot attempt. Quickly played out to Landels. Landels gets it forward, brought in by Peluso. Peluso trying to get forward. There's a through ball. There's some open room. Here goes NEO and Andrew Taylor, one of those guys that I said maybe they'll open things up on the roster to see if there's some life with the substitutes. But Taylor didn't have enough speed to get downfield, and the defense caught up to him. On the far side, Alvarado on for NEO, trying to find some life. But back goes Kamenar, trying to find the run of Andrew Taylor. Couldn't be found. Murray State back the other way, but that's just going to be lofted in the air, and that's going to travel, I think, the distance of the field. It's just a matter of when and where it'll roll out, and as Marzoli goes back to grab one from the goal, it'll be a goal kick. One more match tonight. Eastern against NOC Enid on the women's side to finish off day number 1.
Yeah, it should be a good one. 2 really good teams. Eastern the 3 seed, but Enid has done a better job against Eastern this season. A 3-0 win and a tie ball game. Those are the 2 games played this year between those 2.
Yeah, Eastern has not been able to find a win against Enid in a very long time. It's been a lot of draws when, well, they were formerly known as Tonkawa the last few years, and then that opening draw of the season as well for the Lady Mountaineers, but everything changes in the postseason. Kamenar on the far side. Kind of passed it back to himself. Sets it up, the shot. Cleared to the right side, and out of play it'll go. Once again, I believe Andrew Taylor there on the shot attempt. It was not. It was Mate, Ignacio Mate.
And NEO, they're the 6th seed with not the best record this year, but they haven't really played the same way that their record looks. They're 2-11-2 on the year. 2 wins, 11 losses, 2 draws, but they haven't played like a 2-win team this year. They've played close against like we've said, just about every team. A 1-0 loss against Eastern, that's not a bad loss. A win against Rose State's a really good win. I mean, they've beat really good teams. They've played close on really good teams. Their record doesn't tell the whole story, but the game on October 15th was really the big game of the year for NEO, because if they would have lost that game to Connors.
This one's in. I missed the run-up. I apologize. I was looking down reading it as well, but that one is into the back of the net, and I believe it's going to be another goal scored for the second time. Adeyemi puts it to the back of the net.
And Adeyemi's just had a really good day. I mean, I think as far as his games go this season, this has got to be one of the best games he's had all year. It's his second 2-goal game of the year. He had a 2-goal game against Connors earlier this year as well. But, I mean, Adeyemi has really, when he's wanted to get behind the defense and those balls have been on target, he has made the most of it. And really, he'd have 3 goals if they would have given him the penalty kick at the beginning of the game, or if Marzoli didn't come out and tackle him inside the box, he would have had a hat trick.
Absolutely. 61st minute goal for Adeyemi, back-to-back for him, and it is a 4-0 lead for the Aggies here in their opening round matchup. Adeyemi had another one-on-one. That's been the story of the day for Murray State, and defensively for NEO is trying to stop the one-on-one matchups, and it wasn't one-on-one defender in Adeyemi. It was Adeyemi and Marzoli. Here's another one-on-one. Marzoli doesn't make the save, but it's sent wide to the right by Perez Restrepo.
He's looking for his first goal of the year. No goals, 1 assist for Perez Restrepo.
And these two teams are going to a lot of their reserves right now and rotating things around. One out of play on the far side. It'll be a throw in for the Golden Horsemen.
And the way that Jared Noble has played this year, only allowed more than 3 goals in a game one time, and that was the final game of the season at Enid. So if NEO wants to try to do something that we haven't seen this year and put 5 goals up against Jared Noble, that's really the only way that they can come away with the win, unless they can get 4 and then win in PKs.
That is a very tough task with just about 30 minutes left, or less than 30 minutes, I should say. 28 minutes left. And Seidel put one on target. Brought in by Marzoli. 3-time national goalkeeper of the week at the junior college level. Marzoli, 4 goals against today. Joel Green with it. Centers it. Murch, back to Green. Green. Sliding tackle from behind. Offsides is the call as well. Double negative for Murray State.
And Joel Green is down. He's a big part of this team. 6 goals, now 7 goals, 6 assists on the year. He spread those goals out well. He's a returner, one of the sophomores on this team who was a big starter last year with a goal and 2 assists in his freshman season.
Like I said, Green from Manchester, England. I wonder which side he roots for, whether it's City or United or any other Premier League team or any other soccer club per se. But as a Manchester United fan myself, it makes me wonder which side of Manchester he roots for.
Well, one of them's done a lot better than the other one in recent times. I'm not saying which one, though.
It might be the color that he is currently wearing, just a lighter shade of the blue. Because, yes, Manchester City has been a little bit better than United has been, but that's okay. That's how you know it's true fandom here. I don't jump ship. Unless you're talking MLS with Messi coming into Inter Miami.
I mean, Messi's just fun to watch for everybody. He's one of the best players, I think, anybody's ever watched.
I mean, I got scared for a second. I saw Messi to Miami. I thought he was coming to Miami, Oklahoma. I thought he was coming to NEO. And, I mean, a break there for Region 2 because imagine Messi here.
I don't think he's used up his eligibility either.
That's what I'm saying. Even as a coach, could you imagine?
It'd be interesting to see if that would fly. Obviously, it probably wouldn't, but I'm trying to think of why they would shut it down. I mean, there's been international players who have played for these teams.
Right.
Peter Jolmis last year as a national team member for the Bahamas. One of the ladies for Enid's team is a Bolivian national team member.
Absolutely, playing for the Pan American Games. I believe they just had their second match yesterday or today. I'll have to look that up for San Miguel. Luana San Miguel, a phenomenal player. There's a lot of great Region 2 soccer players. Seminole State's got a good chunk of them. Eastern's got a good bunch. Rose, Murray. There's a lot. But Luana San Miguel is one of the best in this entire region and the world at that, apparently, as well, because Bolivia, well, they have a good one with her. And this one, a strong tackle from behind. Let's see what they call here, because that was close to the left side of the box. I think they're just going to say out of bounds for a corner kick.
That's what it looks like. Corner kick coming up for NEO, an opportunity. They can try to find the back of the net. And I always look for the height on these corner kicks, and Radonovich is coming forward. He's got the height advantage over just about everybody. Dominic Woolley also pretty tall for Murray State.
Corner kick for the Golden Norsemen, trying to find something. Headed down, cleared away, and opportunity comes to nothing. And a foul. They were kind of do-si-doing for a little bit there. Foul called on Adeyemi, who has 2 goals today.
The wind is still going strong today here in Enid. It has been a very windy day. The wind hasn't really taken a break all day long.
Now, we thank our camera operator. She's out in the elements today with the wind. Big shout out to Sydney Hart, Alyssa Hart helping on the computer as well, getting us to commercials and when we need to be. Can't do it without the help of our interns. And a shout out to one of our previous interns as well listening in right now, Ian Cowie. Ian Cowie, a former Eastern Mountaineer, is a champion the last time Eastern came to this facility here in Eastern. He's doing amazing things, so big shout out to him, and thanks for listening. And thank you all as well, the Murray State fans, the NEO fans, and other Region 2 fans as well, or I guess district fans with LSU Eunice. But we're just honored to be on the call for this one. This one well in hand at the moment for Murray State. There's still 25 minutes left, but out of the 3 matches played so far today, this has been the most lopsided one so far. 2 overtime matches to start things off. It was a 2-2 finish in regulation between Rose State and Connor State on the men's side. They went to overtime, and a overtime winner for Rose State in the 100th minute. Able to get them that victory, but unfortunately their women's team fell short in penalty kicks as they could not convert from the spot in 3 chances that they had. LSU Eunice perfect from the spot as they went 3 for 3. That's why LSU Eunice has a date set for tomorrow against the number 2 team in the country.
And I want to add on to that shout out for one of the former Region 2 soccer players, Ian Cowie, the captain in Oakland City, an NAIA program. Went over there as a transfer, became the captain right away, and that just goes to show how good of a team or how good of a region this is. Ian Cowie wasn't a captain for Eastern. He was a great player for Eastern, but you go over to a team like Oakland City and take over as their captain.
Murray State on the drive here on the far side, still pressuring in. They want even more goals. Centered, an opportunity. Deflected. Marzoli, does he keep it in bounds? He did. It saves the corner kick. Doesn't save a goal as it was wide right. There's a lot of great talent in this region that goes and plays at the next level. I know yesterday we were able to chat with some of the coaches, listen in to things that they were talking about, and there was coaches talking about how professional league teams, I believe USL was looking at some of these players. I believe NWSL has looked at some players as well on the women's side, and professionally getting looked at right now, which is a tremendous thing. You have players, like you said, in San Miguel playing for their country. Peter Julmus last year for Eastern played for his country as well. And, you know, it just showcases the talent here in Oklahoma. I think it's one of the best in the nation as Murch is trying to add his name to the tally. He's forced back out wide of the box. Carl Murch plays it back outside. Back to Murch. He's tripped up. It'll be a free kick from about 3 yards outside the box to the right side.
Yeah, dangerous area here for Murray State. I mean, it's a good spot to take a free kick, especially when you got a good free kick taker. I don't believe Joel Green is on the field right now, so might be a little bit of a sigh of relief for NEO.
I believe it's going to be Murch himself to take it.
And Murch is really good at this spot as well.
And it will be Carl Murch. He has Dominic Woolley inside the box. Plays it short and on the ground, though, and a whistle right off of it. There was a substitution. Is this a break for Murray State? Because that was not a good free kick. But I think it was taken too soon as NEO was making a substitution. The ball goes right back over to Carl Murch, and he gets a second chance to take this free kick.
And he got to see what the defense did as well.
It's a break for them. Same play, mishit, and out of play it goes.
Maybe not a break. The last one was a little bit better. I mean, not great on either one of those for Murray State. They were just trying to play it low. It's tough to play those free kicks with the wind the way it is, but, I mean, if you can curve that from that area and shoot it into the wind, you might be able to find the back of the net.
That one deflected. NEO still pressuring and playing to the best of their abilities right now, down by 4. They haven't really given up. There's no heads hanging low or anything. They're still fighting to the bitter end. Throw-in. NEO looking to take it in front of that big scoreboard. A phenomenal facility here at the Advanced Soccer Complex in Enid. Big shout out to Mike Steinke and his crew. Within 365 days, this facility went from a little bit of construction to a fully functioning and running and beautiful facility. The bleachers, the press box, the concession stand, the turf practice fields, the playground. I mean, everything is absolutely perfect here. And I know for Mike Steinke, he's really pushing and hoping to get a national tournament here. You know, D2, D1 even. And I know the Stryker Soccer Complex, where the national tournament's held in Kansas this year, they have a 2-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. And after those 2 years, it's up for grabs again. So for Mike Steinke and his crew, and, you know, even if Region 2 has a little say into it, I mean, fully supportive of a national tournament being hosted here. I think it's a great facility, as this one's towards net, missing by a wide margin, but Murray State still firing away. But I think even a D2 tournament could definitely come here to Enid for soccer.
Yeah, I mean, this is a world-class field. It's one of the best in the country. It's maintained extremely well. You know, it rained like crazy just about a day ago. There were puddles that were all around this field, and when we walked onto the field and we looked at the field, it looked like it was completely dry. It looked like the field had taken it so well. I mean, this field is maintained beautifully. It's painted beautifully. They've done such a good job here.
Big shout-out to Mike Steinke and his entire staff and crew here at the Advanced Soccer Complex. And big shout-out to Jared from Rich Mountain as well, the soccer regional representative. He does an incredible job as well with everything that he does, organizing this tournament, both him and Mike St. John. You know, early shout-outs to all those guys. Come the end of the tournament, you know, we'll continue to give them their shout-outs as they deserve, but have to definitely recognize them early on as they're already making an impact and allowing a great competition for these young student athletes. 20 minutes still left in this one. Murray State 4-0 they lead. The scoring rundown at the moment. Joel Green with a converted penalty kick in the 8th minute. Woolley a goal in the 29th minute. And then here in the second half, it's been all Adeyemi. 2 goals for him, the 47th and the 61st minute. But here's NEO on the counter. Great sliding tackle, though. to knock it free, and a second one on the far side. Bump from behind, and Montague lost possession, but great defensive ability out of him. Murray State wins possession back over, though. Looking on this near side, Seido chips it up into the air to himself. Couldn't get there enough as Marzoli's going to come play it. Noble hasn't been tested at all in this second half. You were hoping for Coach Young and this NEO team that they'd put something on target a little bit more here over the final 45 minutes, but nothing to show for it. They played better with the wind to their back in the first half, but so far unable to make anything happen and create some offense here in half number 2.
Yeah, it's been a tough half on the second half for NEO. It's been a tough game for NEO. 2 goals given up in both of the halves. Marzoli has done all he can, but these goals that have been scored by Murray State have just about been unstoppable. All 4 of them, and really a lot of them in one-on-one situations between the offensive player for Murray and the goalkeeper in Marzoli.
Speaking of Davidi, able to play it inside the box. Marzoli gets it to this near side. Worked around by Varela. Varela up into the air, but that one's hooking out of bounds. Intended for the run of Bueno. But unable to be found. Throw-in coming in as Seeley will take it. Off the chest, Seido. Back over to Hidemasa. Now back to midfield. Woolley up forward. A long run. And out of the reach as it'll cross over the end line out of bounds.
And it's one of those moments where the wind is your friend all day until it's not. A good run there from Mayring. Just couldn't catch up to it as the wind pulled it along out of play.
NEO still trying to keep possession, but they'll lose it for a second. It's still a battle for it. And good maneuvering around by Suarez to keep it for the moment. Back to Marzoli, it's played. He's going to have to play with his feet as he works around. Joel Green in there pressuring. A whistle and a foul. NEO's free kick. Quickly played. Has an open man on the near side of Landals. Goes this near side of Landals. Landals matched up against Seido. Works around Seido. Gets it over to Peluso. Strong touch. Rodriguez couldn't get there. It's intercepted again. Landals, though, comes right back with it. Landals cuts to the middle. Landals, the through ball. Can he get it to Rodriguez? Jaffet gets there. Rodriguez to the end line. Rodriguez still alive. Cleared out for the moment, though. Settled down. Good step over by Peluso. Left side of the box. NEO. NEO. Right to Noble it goes, but a good attempt there by the Golden Horsemen.
Yeah, good creation for NEO. Had a couple good passes, some good dribbling there. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Good job by Lorenzo Peluso, getting between a few defenders as well.
Noble throws it out to the near side of Seeley. Nathan Seeley taking it forward a little bit. Found it into Seido. I'm going to go with Kanagawa, Japan is where Seido's from. I try. You know, it's the fun in it. It's trying to pronounce the city names. Kanagawa.
Yeah, let me
Japan.
take a look. Kanagawa, yeah, I think that's pretty close.
And there's the Japan native putting it on target. Marzoli had to push it over the crossbar. I think it was deflected off the shot by Seido. Out of bounds nonetheless for a corner kick. $20 minutes left still here in this matchup between Murray State and NEO. 4-0 though. Murray with the lead. They've led since the 8th minute. A near side corner. Sent to the box. Far post. Missed the header. Slid in, the shot saved by Marzoli again.
And even after giving up 4 goals, Marzoli is still making incredible saves, still dictating what's going on inside that box with so many players around him.
Montague was last to touch it, but a trio of substitutions come on now. As Squires is back on. Murch is back on. I said a trio. I think they're only going a duo, though. They did go trio. I just don't know who the third one is. Came on as, I think it's one of these 2 defensive backs. Center backs, I should say. I'm not sure if Arboleda was out there to start the second half. Vulovic as well as a center back at the moment. Either way, substitutions made for Murray State rotating through.
Yeah, coming on for NEO now is going to be the New Zealand native, Jacob Woods.
77th minute. And up and over the head of Woods. It goes out of bounds. They're trying to get him into the action early on. So it does look like Coach Young is rotating a lot of the guys just to give him that experience, that playing time, and see what he has for the next year and years. There's Woods on possession. Good movement here by Jacob Woods. He'll hand it off. Out to the left wing. Good ball movement here and transition in the offensive end by NEO. And a missed pass, though. Turns it over, back over to Murray State. Good patience at the midfield by the Aggies. That was Woolley that rolled over the top of it and got some separation between the defense. This one a through ball looking for Murch. Murch is there. Murch's centering pass deflected. Saved off the end line. Offsides is the call. Marzoli was pointing it out the whole time. And 3 minutes ago when I said 20 minutes left, I was way wrong. There was only 15 minutes left at that point. I was at the 75, I was 45, is where my head was at.
It was just a quick 8 minutes.
90, yeah, exactly. Time flies when you're having fun.
And I think Murray State might be having a little bit more fun with this 4-0 lead, and they got their eyes on NOC Enid in a game tomorrow at 3 p.m., same time.
Same place.
Same place.
That should be a fun matchup. Enid trying to hold true home field advantage.
It was a 4-2 win last time these two teams faced off, with Enid beating Murray at Enid. Adeyemi didn't play, though, and Adeyemi has shown that he's one of the most important players on this team. There's still 11 minutes left, and stranger things have happened. NEO still has a shot, a chance to try to find 4 goals, but it's becoming more and more unlikely as every second passes.
The Golden Norseman fans appreciate your optimism 100%. 10 minutes left, down by 4. But NEO, well, their last offensive opportunity was a shot on goal. The flag stays down at the moment. Noble comes out to play it off of his knee and saves an opportunity and keeps the clean sheet intact.
And Rodriguez was onside as well.
This time, Squires is onside. Pass kind of floated him outside the box. He's trying to dribble it into the box, but his cross pass missed wide of the intended target.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the line judge on the far side. I don't think I've ever seen a line judge move as quickly as he was just moving up the field, and it just so seamlessly. It seemed so easy for him to run that fast with the flag in his hand.
Yeah,
he probably has had a pretty good career at some point in his life as a soccer player himself.
Well, he was also running right to left. The wind in his back helps you out.
Hey, he's getting pulled along.
Exactly.
Or pushed along.
Exactly. You try to see him running into the wind. Be a little tougher. Luckily for him, into the wind, there's no offsides that can happen at that point. This one towards the box. Out of the reach. Marzoli watches it go wide and out of bounds. So Murray State will move on to 10-4-1 once the next 8.5 minutes come to a close. 10-4-1, a pretty good turnaround from their 7-8 season last year. 9-2-2 in 2021. I want to say that's towards the tops of their wins in seasons. Coach Connor, though, doing a great job here for the Murray State Aggies in his second season at the helm. Rodriguez played it back. A lot of pressure here by Murray State. It's a turnover. The shot, the save, right at Marzoli. The shot taken by Barros Nieva.
And Barros Nieva was looking for his first goal since the first game of the year where he scored 2 against Trinity Valley.
And he's only taken 3 shots over the last 5 games played as well, but a corner kick here now for Murray State. And now set up on this near side. The corner, middle of the field, a lot of Aggies jumping up into the air, but it sails past both of them. Can't clear it out of the defensive end, though, for NEO. It has been all Murray State from the start and from the 8th minute on. Mayrink had sent it towards the box. That one right off the face, I think, of NEO. A lot of bodies go tumbling to the far side, and they're going to call the foul, or at least out of bounds, from NEO.
Yeah, I think it's going to set up a free kick. It's going to be Joel Green who comes out to take it.
Green's going over there to retrieve the soccer ball at the moment. There is a little bit of a wall being set up, it looks like. And as Green comes across that sideline, it will be him to take this free kick. Green just trying to add to the tally one more time. Line drive into the box. Last touch by Murray State. They kind of built up a wall together. Didn't allow that ball to travel through.
Yeah, and that's 3 straight free kicks for Murray State that have been low line drives.
Marzoli, a lot of pressure here by Murray State. He almost turned it over. It wasn't really him. It was Riera, I believe, Andres Riera, that was the one that almost turned it over. But the pass is this one's chipped right to Marzoli from the offense of Murray State. He'll quickly throw it out. Rodriguez is there. 6 minutes left in this matchup. Japhet Rodriguez, the leader on the season in goals for NEO. 3 on the year. Slips on the turf as Carl Murch works back the other way. Outside to Green, he'll touch it one time. Popped up in the air by the backline defense of Riera. Still loose into the box. At the top of the box still. NEO on possession and some separation now to at least find some sort of clearance. And it is cleared. Now Carl Murch finds it. Gets it over to Barclay. Barclay puts the cleats in the ground and drives left. That one's out of bounds. Substitutions coming on for NEO, a couple of them, as well as Murray State, a trio of them. That'll be Malik Dome, Forshaw Pemberton, and Jack Smith, the 3 from Murray State, to appear today.
Chase Williams, one of the NEO substitutions coming on.
Just about 5 minutes left, just a couple of ticks under. Murray State will have a throw-in their offensive end. It's been true form for Murray State over their last 7 games. A win, a loss, a win, a loss, a win, a loss, and now a win again. They're back into the win column. They're hoping to find back-to-back, though. They don't want that trend to continue into tomorrow. That would mean a loss against Enid and their season coming to a close. Smith on the far side. Had it for a second, got it right back. Now, Jack Smith over to the right. Still worked around. Last touched by Neo out of bounds. Another substitution for Murray State, and a big cheer by the women's program for Murray State as they're here watching and cheering on the men's team. That was Baros Nieva again, though. That was the number 12.
That's who I saw as well.
Interesting. He had just been on the field. Neo back the other way with 4 minutes left.
Frank Perez also on the field. Not sure if we've called his name out as one of the substitutions for Murray.
One of the biggest rosters in Region 2 here for this Murray State men's team. A lot of guys that Coach Connor can go to, as Coach Connor won a Coach of the Year this year on the women's side. Congratulations to him, though, as he has the number 2 seed on the women's side for Murray State. He almost found 2 number 2 seeds this year. Came up 1 game short of it as they dropped it to Enid. But for Coach John Connor, he does an incredible job and has this Murray State program right where they need to be. And again, the most solidifying win so far today here at 4-0. At the moment, 4-0 for Murray State. Into the box it goes off the throw-in, played back out. 3 minutes left in regulation. This one cleared away. Only as far as Smith, though. Brought in by McCauley for Neo. McCauley starts the break. Gets it back. McCauley still with it. Plays it to midfield by Palma. Palma to the back line. 2.5 minutes left. That one sent forward, but Murray's backline defense of Smith able to play it in. And these substitutes want to find a couple of goals themselves if they can. Still driving forward. That's going to go a long way. This turf does not slow any soccer ball down. And across the goal line they'll go. Marzoli was practically at the ball already as that one crossed through the box. 2 minutes left. Another turnover. Another through ball. Brought in. The shot. Marzoli saves. Top of the box. Hesitation. And a stumble a little bit. I think he wanted to go for the shot, but decided not to take it. That was Chulvi Perez. Sliding tackle. And a foul called on Jacob Woods. So free kick here with 1:20 left, which, as I look over the clock, it's very ironic that the clock is now stopped for this free kick. Take you back to the first half of the women's matchup between Eunice and Rose State. They had a free kick late in the first half, or second half, I apologize. It was the second half. And the clock continued to tick down and wind down, or wind up per se in this one, and they never got a free kick away. Now the clock stops.
Yeah, I mean, it all just comes down to the referees, and if they want to stop it, this referee has stopped it for pretty much every free kick, corner kick, whatever it may be.
What an attempt by Jack Smith on the free kick. What a better save by Davide Marzoli. Once again, he continues to showcase, and even in a 4-0 loss, he's creating his own highlight film and reel. And for Davide Marzoli, as this game widens down, you know, a sophomore here for NEO, a big shout out to him. I mean, he's been one of my personal favorite goalkeepers to watch and broadcast. I know yours as well, but I don't want to put words in your mouth and speak for you, but you know, he's been an incredible goalkeeper for NEO and has kept his team into a lot of matchups. Wherever he goes next, they're going to get one heck of a goalkeeper in Marzoli.
Yeah, he makes really tough saves look really easy, and that's a hard thing to do for a goalkeeper. And he's kept NEO in a ton of games, and the reason why they've lost so many games so close is because he's done such a good job of keeping them in it, making big saves that not a lot of other goalkeepers would make.
The native of Omenga, Italy, He will see his season come to a close, though, and NEO will as well. The number 6 seed goes down. The number 3 seed in Murray State advances into the next round as they will take on number 2 NOC Enid 4-0 when it's all said and done.